name is Joseph Patterson. Welcome to One Jamaica TV. This is the place of choice for all who love this country and want to see the nation succeed.
Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode, Free Speech People Talk, our Pocket Productions, and today we have a very special guest in the house. Indeed, we have with us Mr. Joseph L. Patterson, the president and founder of the UIC of Jamaica. Mr. Patterson, I want to thank you very much.
My pleasure. Thank you so much for having me.
With us today.
Yeah, man, my pleasure.
Indeed, a pleasure. All right, so the UIC, I'm sure people like to know more about the UIC. I mean, I see your content on TikTok. You are indeed a very knowledgeable person, and you seem well informed, and you have a lot to say, and I really love your content.
Sure,
I really do love your content. I understand, yes. And you have a large following as well, which is very nice. I'm glad people are actually listening to you, because I know some of the time, like speeches like that just fly over people. Yes.
Absolutely.
I'm glad people are listening. So can you tell us more about the UIC?
Sure. Well, the UIC is Jamaica's official third registered party. We came into being on officially the 2nd of December 2019.
Okay.
But we're around before that in terms of the prep work necessary to build a movement.
Right.
You know, building a political party in Jamaica is very, very difficult and requires a lot of work. So we are a unique party in that we're really more a movement than a party. We're only a party because the system, as it is, requires us to be a party. But we're a movement, and our movement is committed to protecting the rights of all Jamaicans. We're really about sovereignty, protecting your sovereignty as an individual, and then protecting our sovereignty as a collective. So the collective is known as Jamaica, but we are sovereign individuals. So we want a system of governance that is going to protect you from, for example, when there's another medical emergency, as we say, nobody has the power or authority to infringe on your life, liberty, or property rights. So, for example, we'll protect your bodily autonomy. So nobody can inject you with anything because they think they should. We'll protect free speech. So you might not agree with me and I might not agree with you, but the world needs to hear us both. And decide who they want to follow. You shouldn't have a system of governance where government can shut down one set of people because they don't like what they have to say. The best form of governance is one where everybody is free to share what they think is important. Now, you might consider it misinformation or malinformation or not factual or untrue. That's fine. Let those who claim to know better explain why what you think is right is not right. So we want to protect free speech, freedom of movement, so no more anything lockdowns and that kind of stuff, not acceptable. Freedom of association, you can gather with people if people want to gather with you. Freedom of movement, no authority figure should be able to stop you from moving around in your society, as long as you're not infringing on anybody else's life, liberty, or property rights. So our party comes from the ethos of protecting your rights as a person. Now, most political parties are different. They believe in government having the supreme power over the people. We don't accept that. Government is here to be a servant of the people, not a master of the people. And the role of government is to protect your rights. So the moment government starts to infringe on your right, it ceases to be government and has become a god. And we must smash that down.
My gosh, Mr. Patterson, you're really saying some things. You are really saying some things. I mean, if it is that we have someone in power with that mindset and execute what you're saying, trust me, I have no doubt that Jamaica
would flourish. As a matter of fact, the reason why Jamaica is not a poor country. It's a poorly run colony. So Jamaica remains a colony of anybody who wants to colonize us, be it Britain, China, or anybody. Because the government we have is a sellout government. It will sell us to anybody, the highest bidder. So it's not like our government that we have sell us to just the US or to the UK. Anybody who come with money, they will sell us to them. So what you want is a system of governance where the government cannot sell you. So the constitution must be one that respects your rights from day one. And the entire system of governance must be designed for you to be the maximum that you can be. So you need maximum freedom and maximum security. So the police should work in a way where it does three things. It protects you, it serves you, but most importantly, it must respect you. And what we have today is a brute force police that doesn't respect the people. because they still operate of a colonial mindset where we the people are not that important. If you notice, the police are there to protect the politicians. They sometimes even protect criminals because they're in collusion. So what you want is a system where the police is really a servant of the people and is not under the control so much of the political directorate, but is under the control of the Constitution that says your goal, your objective, your mandate is to respect the people's rights, protect the people's rights, and serve the people as their loyal police. And so if you have a proper police service, we call it a police service on a force. And if you have a proper education system, and what do I mean by that? Education is only education if it moves you from darkness into light. What we have today is not an education system, but a schooling system, which is meant to brainwash and manipulate. So it brainwashes you into not understanding your rights. It brainwashes you into giving power to those who think they're in authority. It brainwashes you into not having an understanding of your mind, body, and personality. You don't know how to build good, solid relationship with your spouse, with your partners, with other people. You don't understand money and economics, so you're manipulated by people like the finance minister and so on. So you want a true education system where you get true education, so your mind is liberated.
Think on your own.
Absolutely. So that's why the UIC focuses on three things. Unity, because without unity we're weak. That's why we were caught up into slavery, because they went there and our licky leaders then in Africa sold us out because, and they were divided into tribes. So they were not united. So the UIC want to unite the people around good governance. If you have good governance, everything else falls into place. So unity, liberty, and empowerment are our three calling cards. Unite around good governance for liberty. Liberate the people to be able to to achieve their maximum potential. And empower the people with the skills and competences they need to be highly productive, because that's when you become prosperous. Without productivity, you can't be prosperous. No matter what. So if you have a prime minister or a politician who come and promise you prosperity without explaining how you're going to get productivity, he's a false prophet. He's a fake. And that's what we have gotten, a fake promise of prosperity, which has not materialized except for those who have control over our economy. And who has control over our economy? It's very simple. The PSOJ oligarchs. They own the two-party. They fund their campaign, allow them to use that money to buy the licky people that they can buy, win government, and then steal our money and make themselves richer. That's the system we've been living under for the last 80 years. Prior to that, it was a similar system, but it was the colonizers who fully controlled things for 400 years. And how did they run things? They divided us into tribes, the colonizers. They withheld education from us to keep us ignorant. And then they mastered our economy and built what you call a master slave economy, where a few people extract the wealth of the majority. The same thing today, except that now the colonizers have agents that we call two colonial parties. And the PSOJ is the main manager of that organization. And what they've done to us is to trick us into coming into two tribes, a green tribe and an orange tribe. And we'll fight each other perpetually, consistently, even aggressively, to the point where in 1980 we killed 800 of ourselves, murdered 800 of ourselves. And I'm saying it's time for us to move away from that. We cannot afford to be divided by hostile tribes anymore. We now must unite around good governance. We must liberate our minds, as Marcus Garvey and Bob Marley told us, emancipate yourself from mental slavery, for none but ourselves can free our minds. So we have to emancipate ourselves from this mental slavery that we now know as partisan politics. It divides us so that they can conquer us. And don't forget, the real mastermind behind this is the PSOJ oligarchs who fund these two parties to give us a duopoly, meaning they own both sides of the equation. So it doesn't matter who you vote for. So right now, what's going on? They're tricking us right now. What are they doing right now? They have us believing that they're currently fighting against one of their leaders about his money and about whatever. So we are now caught up in it, not realizing we're repeating history. So we're now going to say, yes, get rid of him. And we're going to feel vindicated when we get rid of him and replace him with one of their other men. So they're going to keep us quiet and satisfied with our sufferation because we felt good that we vote him out and vote him in. When all we have done is to switch the side of the coin.
It's the same coin.
It's the same coin. So what will happen? The PSOJ oligarchs will still win the next election. And we, the people, would have lost again while thinking we have won. I can tell you this. If tomorrow morning we vote in the orange crew, it's just the green crew in an orange color. And if we keep the green crew, it's just the orange crew in a different color. So the only way for us to get over this is to own our own party. And that's where the UIC comes in. We're giving the Jamaican people a chance to own their own party by saying, I feel with this. It's not the PSOJs. It's not the Colonial Masters. We own this. It come from we. Mr. Patterson didn't come from one or the other party. I come as a unifying agent. And so let us form our own party, our people's party, and let that now become the movement that lead us away from Egypt into the New Jerusalem.
And just to clarify, because we mentioned UIC, but I'm just realizing that we didn't tell the audience what it means.
Yes.
UIC stands for United
Independence Congress. Yes. And the name means a lot.
Yes.
UIC, United. We want to unite the people. Independence, we want to make the people think independent. Not right now we're suffering from a fake independence. So notice that let's give them the right to vote. But here what we're going to do. Even though them can vote, we go and control who they can vote for. And so what they did was to get rid of Marcus Garvey. Because Marcus Garvey was like me. He was a true patriot. He was committed to the real freedom of our people. So what they did was to give us two fake parties now, which are not committed to the freedom of the people. They're committed to maintaining colonialism. And so we gave our obeisance to Norman Washington Manley and so-called Sir Alexander Bustamante. But you'll recall that Bustamante said, bring in the dreads, dead or alive.
We recall very well.
and Bustamante was the one who also said, when they're writing the Constitution, I am of the Queen and I am for the Queen. So Bustamante made sure that the Queen remained our head of state at the time of independence. So where was his loyalty? To the Queen. And Norman Manley, who was the skilled barrister from the UK, who went over there and learned their law, and learned their thinking, and admired them, came back and gave us a system to serve them. So to this very day, our constitution is not our constitution. It is Britain's constitution for us. And we accepted that. Our leaders accepted that. Our fake leaders accepted that. Our misleaders accepted that. And they have gotten us to follow that document now for the last 80 years. 20 years, 18 years before, and then independence, 62, 3 years, right? Now watch me carefully. So in 1944, they tricked us now into thinking we have the right to vote. But they gave us two fake parties. And they had a little group behind the scene, which we didn't really pay attention to. Back then they called this group the plantocracy. These were the richest men and women in the country, mostly men. They owned the land that them thief from we. They owned the factories. They owned the merchandising establishment. Those men formed the plantocracy. Today we call them the PSOJ. So they have the money. Now with that money, they put in front of us who we should vote for. Because remember, the poor man can't put himself in front of you. Which poor man can get himself on TV? Which poor man can get himself on radio? Which poor man can get himself nicely written up in the newspaper? Which poor man can buy flyers and put everywhere? Which poor man can pay for bus and tours and food and everything? None. So only those men and women who are funded by the PSOJ oligarchs that people can see as potential candidates. Then come election now, because they made them popular, we then vote for them. Because what are you going to hear from the poor man? The poor man can only probably walk from where he lives to about 50 miles, if that much, and talk to a few people. But those who are sponsored by the gang behind the scenes, they now can travel everywhere. You see them come in nice jeeps, and they'll roll up their foot and walk through a river The only time we're going to do that is when election comes.
Yes, man.
And they're going to come and sit with the whole lady and eat out of their pot at election time. And they're going to be seen everywhere at election time. But after that, you suffer for 5 years.
You're going to patch a few roads.
But the roads will still not be good.
No.
So at the end of the day, that worked in 1944. Now, when they saw that we bought into it, that we the people bought into that, and we now start to throw stone and sticks at each other and say, go away, me a follow Manley, go away, me a follow Buster. And we start to fight, and they said, this work out good, man. Let's make it permanent now. So 18 years later, they gave us a fake independence. So remember, fake freedom in 1834, fake democracy in 1944, the right to vote, and then a fake independence in 1962. Now, right now, they're working on the fake republic. Now we're agitating a bit more now. We're kind of getting a little restless.
Yes.
So they said, no, let's give them something, man. No, let's give them a republic. But it's a fake republic. Because a true republic is one that protects your sovereignty. A fake republic does simply give you a president. You change the name of the governor general into president, and you do a little bit of whitewashing. Hear me? A little bit of whitewashing of the constitution, and then you say, no, we're a republic. That's not a republic. That's a fake republic. A true republic is one that the UIC has been talking about, where you have a document that is written by the people, which is of the people, and which is for the people. Not a fake document which you just touch up here and there and say, hey, this is for you. And that document that we're talking about must be a constitution that fully protects the right to your life, liberty, and property. It must protect you from government. You hear me?
Yes.
A good constitution protects you from your government. The constitution is not there so much for anything but to make sure the government understands its limits.
Right.
That's the purpose of your constitution, to limit government and to give you, the citizen, maximum freedom and autonomy. It is to preserve and protect your sovereignty while you have a republic. So the UIC wants to give Jamaica a real republic, not a fake one.
Wonderful. And just to add, you mentioned off here that you're running for MP.
Yes.
For which constitution?
So I'm the MP candidate for Northeast St. Elizabeth. So I live in St. Elizabeth. I live in Northeast St. Elizabeth. And I'm here to represent the people of Northeast.
Right. So
but it's not easy. Because the people of Northeast, like most other constituencies, have been brainwashed. So I'm trying to undo the brainwashing right now.
Right.
Yes.
So let me just ask, you're running under the UIC?
Of course,
Okay,
yes.
good,
Yeah. So on the ballot in the next election, you will see a number of candidates with the UIC symbol beside their name. And our symbol is a very unique symbol. It is the symbol of Jamaica formed into a handshake.
Yes.
Because what we're doing, we're bringing the nation back together. We have been separated and divided for more than 500 years now. From the moment they went to Africa and stole some of us, from the moment they landed on this island and divided many of us, they have been playing this trick on us where we see each other as the enemy. We are not our enemy. I am not your enemy. You're not my enemy. Our true enemy are those who want to divide and conquer us. Anybody who promotes partisan politics is our enemy. Anybody who promotes colonization and colonialism is our enemy. Anybody who sells off our airports, sells off our airline, sell off our land in bauxite, sell out our street and make us have to pay a toll to drive on it, mash up our school system so 82% of our kids are failing. They are the enemy. We are not our enemy. Those who are destroying us are our enemy, and we need to see them as such.
Totally agree. And I think it would be safe to assume that you aspire to become the Prime Minister of Jamaica one day.
Well, the truth is, well, it's a nice assumption, but let me be very clear. My aspiration is not so much to be anything. My aspiration is for a Jamaica that is safe, clean, and orderly. A Jamaica where all of us can live, earn, and retire with dignity. A Jamaica where we're truly free, truly prosperous, and truly secure. Now, if it takes me becoming Prime Minister for that to happen, then that has to happen.
Right.
But unfortunately, too many of our leaders aspire to high office.
Right.
I aspire to a high Jamaica. I want Jamaica to be no less than Singapore. I want when you come to Jamaica, from before you land, when you look down, you say, what a beautiful country. And when you land, you say, what a beautiful people. And when you drive out on the highway and you're driving out, you don't see no dirty street. You see nice, well-paved streets. You see beautiful manicured plants and grass and trees. You see lovely homes owned by the Jamaican people, enjoyed by the Jamaican people. You see lovely beachfront, lived in by the Jamaican people, enjoyed by the... Listen, I want every community in Jamaica, everyone, to look, smell, and feel like a tourist resort. Every one of them. Not just Upper New Kingston or up on like a tourist spot here and there.
Right.
I want Tivoli to look like a tourist resort. I want Trenchtown to look like a tourist resort. I want Elam and Balaclava and Santa Cruz. I want Spaldings. I want all of Jamaica to be a place where we, the people, can feel like we're tourists in our own country. We feel good.
Right.
And then the tourists can come and share it with we. We don't want it for them, you know. We want it for we. And then the tourists come now and share it with we.
One Jamaica TV. One Jamaica TV. One Jamaica TV.